I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. This week on the Rough Draft Diaries, we're headed to the University of Toledo. I'm currently walking through their hallways, and I bet you can guess which department I'm visiting. We're in the music department. I'm here to talk to Brad Pierson. He's the choir director for the University of Toledo.
Yeah, I am the Director of Choral Activities at the University of Toledo and an Assistant Professor of Music.
Now, Brad has always been interested in music. He grew up listening to it. He said music has always been there for him, but he didn't know that he wanted to become a choir director until much later.
You know, it's funny, my senior year of high school, I had five of my 7 classes were music classes, and yet I had no inkling that that was something that I was going to be doing professionally. There was a while where I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, mostly because I like to argue, and I thought that was kind of a natural progression. But I went to my first year of college and just had no idea what I was going to do with my life, and struggled a little bit, actually, at the beginning of school. And then even when I decided that I wanted to be a music teacher, I think it was more of a job that I was going to do, and I didn't really know I was super passionate about it, probably until I started my master's degree, and I'd been teaching for a little while, and then kind of really fell in love with the craft of choral conducting and started to take it a lot more seriously. So it was sort of a slower process than it is for some, perhaps.
It was also quite the process for Brad to find his way to Toledo. He didn't grow up here, and it wasn't his first choice to work here either.
No, I did not grow up in the area, nor did I ever think that I would end up living in Toledo, Ohio, much less being really excited about it, which I am. I am thrilled to be here, and I've become quite a fan and champion of Toledo in the area. I think I could probably be happy living most places, but I feel lucky that Toledo's a pretty awesome place. I get really excited about the community, and actually I got married this last November. I met my wife at new faculty orientation, so she's also a professor at UT, and so we're both Toledo transplants, but now are happy to be home in Toledo.
There are 2 reasons why Toledo was such an easy transition for Brad. One, because there was room to create things. On top of being the choir director at UT, he created Whateverandeveramen, a semi-professional singing group that sings in bars, art galleries, parks, and he also created the Glass City Singers, a community-based choir offered through UT. The other reason number 2, would be that things were already happening in the city. Change had already taken place by the time Brad moved here about 4 years ago.
I feel fortunate that I arrived at a time that it seemed like there was a lot going on. In the last 4 years, I've seen lots of new coffee shops and new local breweries and just a lot of different exciting things going on. And so there's a certain energy about the city, and so I like to be a part of that. And Glass City and Whateverandeveramen are 2 groups that I think do a good job being a part of the kind of fabric of the cultural side of the community. I think that's exciting because singing music shouldn't be about a group getting on stage in formal wear and sort of singing at you while you quietly listen and then clap at the appropriate time. You know, it's something you go and experience and are a part of, and again, there's community about it, and people should be able to come in and have an opinion about what they're listening to and cheer whenever they want to, or not if they don't want to. And I just feel like there was an opportunity. Mostly, it's mostly selfish, right? Those are things that I like to do and I enjoy being a part of. And I know that when you're passionate about something and you share it with other people, they usually get excited about it too. So that's usually what guides the decisions I make. Is this something that I enjoy being a part of? And if so, let's do it as well as we can, and hopefully other people will get excited too.
Well, it's not surprising to state that Brad is really passionate about singing together as a group. He believes there's something about that particular act that can really bring the city of Toledo together.
I'm sort of a nerd, and I really I read a lot of neuroscience kind of stuff when I'm not doing music. So when we sing, our brain releases oxytocin, right, which is like the trust drug that kind of builds relationships. And they find that when choirs sing together over extended periods of time, that their breathing becomes synchronized and their heart rates become synchronized. And so there's all these kind of really natural connections. And when you're in a musical ensemble, there's this sort of culture of empathy that's created. And so, in a very sort of biological sense, we're creating connections with people.
And looking into the future, Brad hopes to create more connections with people, not just within the choir, but also with the audience who participates in these performances.
I'm excited and encouraged about the things that we're doing at the University of Toledo and with Whateverandeveramen, just to keep doing what we're doing, right? Finding more bars to sing in and people coming out and just being part of the community. But I really like Toledo. I feel really lucky. I lived in the Old West End for a little while and am a champion, I think, of all things Toledo and kind of being invested in the community. And I hope that we can be a part of that and kind of shaping the culture and feel of the city for a long time.
I'm Haley Taylor, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.